Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Video ini i-demonstrate ko kano biariin magsulat title damikian biariin mag-formulate research questions. So bang kamo sa upama nagte-thesis na biyaon atau nag-dissertation case of the graduate school students atau college students na ka or even senior high school students na ka, hati ko bahaon makawa nyo misan manutyo pangadjian video ta ini. So again, we will be focusing on writing a research title and formulating research questions. By the way, presentation ta bang kita imian research questions. Amo na niin kamomhan pagkarungan ta pagyanon sa mga researchers lang nila SOP atau lang yung statement of the problem lang nga SOP1, SOP2, SOP3, etc. However, we are using the term research questions, and I believe ito yung mas pinaka-appropriate term to be used as opposed to the statement of the problem. And hopefully we can differentiate later yung research questions at saka yung statement of the problem. For writing a research title, by the way, meron tayong tatlong strategies na magagamit. Actually, there are more than 3 strategies, but I will only present to you these three strategies. First is we can derive our title based on our field of expertise or our interest. Halimbawa, kung ang interest natin ay sports, then most likely yung ating magiging title ay related to sports. If we are into, for example, mathematics, assuming that is our favorite subject, or English, so most likely yung ating title ay related to that particular subject. So that's first. Second, we can formulate a title based on literature. And ito actually yung pinaka-recommended ng, or this is highly recommended by most experts na dapat kung magsusulat daw tayo ng title or kung gagawa tayo ng title ay dapat ibabase natin sa literature. So yung gagawin natin, magre-review muna tayo ng mga research papers and then meron tayong hahanapin doon sa mga papers na yon. And we call this one as a research gap. Kasi later, hopefully we can discuss bakit ba tayo nagkakandak ng research. And I think that the answer is that because meron tayong nakitang gap pagdating sa mga studies na na-publish na or unpublished. O yan, for example. Yung pangatlong strategy ay we utilize yung tinatawag nating artificial intelligence. So whether using ChatGPT, Gemini, CC, etc. So we can actually ask AI to, provide us with titles or to give us recommendations with a sample research title. Okay? So yun yung tatlong strategies na i-explain natin in relation to our topic na writing a research title and formulating research questions. However, sa presentation na ito, dito sa ating video, we will only concentrate on the second one, yung ibabase natin sa literature. Because we cannot discuss all the 3 strategies in this video kasi medyo mahaba siya. So hopefully, gagawa na lang tayo ng separate video for the 2 other strategies. Yung gagawa tayo ng title based on our field of expertise or our interest. And then yung tatlo is we utilize AI in the formulation of a research title as well as in formulation of the research questions. So unang-una, ano ba yung purpose bakit tayo magsusulat ng research? Well, to be honest, yung pinaka main goal is that this is just for compliance, di ba? Kung wala namang yung requirement sa ating program, halimbawa sa senior high school or sa undergraduate and graduate school program, hindi naman tayo magsusulat ng research. But overall, pag sinabi nating the purpose of research, it's because we want to contribute to the knowledge economy, yung tinatawag nating body of knowledge. Yung definition ng mga experts, pag sinabi nating your research has contributed to the knowledge economy or to the body of knowledge, meaning meron kang na discover na bagong findings na of which it will supplement the existing findings in the literature. Or kumbaga, yung research mo mayroong importance or relevance makukuha yung mga readers or yung mga tao, or this will give benefits to different stakeholders. Halimbawa, you're conducting a research and then yung estudyante magbe-benefit. You are conducting a research and then yung teachers, the parents, the community, the LGU, and others will benefit from the study. And then, how do we know that we can contribute actually to the knowledge economy? So, we look at the research gap. So, halimbawa, magkakandak tayo ng study, yung study habits, iyon pala meron na palang study na ganun sa ating locality, for example, sa ating probinsya or sa ating school. So, dapat talaga, we assure na yung topic na ikakandak natin, yung research na ikakandak natin ay underexplored or limited. Pag sinabi nating research gap, ito yung mga studies na hindi masyadong nasusulat o hindi masyadong nakakandak, kaya nga yung term natin ay underexplored. So hopefully, later pupunta tayo sa Google Scholar and we will try to demonstrate paano ba maghanap ng tinatawag nating research gap. And by the way, this is a requirement really when conducting a research, especially in relation to choosing the appropriate research title. Okay, next one, let us explain yung tinatawag nating research process. So, ano ba yung magiging starting point natin? Ano yung procedure sa middle of the process? And then, ano yung end point of the entire research process? Commonly, mag-start tayo sa tinatawag nating formulation of the research problem. Usually, ganun yung practice natin. Halimbawa, sasabihin ng ating thesis advisor or dissertation advisor, okay, gumawa ka ng 3 titles. And then, you also make research questions or sabi nila SOP for each title. So, technically, or in practice, doon talaga mag-start sa pag-formulate ng problem. But, based on the literature that we read, yung pinaka-appropriate na practice is that hindi muna tayo gagawa ng problem, but we have to look for research gap muna. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, yung ating title, it will come from the research gap. So kapag alam na natin yung gap sa research, doon pa lang tayo gagawa ng problem or title. Kaya makikita nyo sa ating presentation ngayon na yung number 1 ay research gap and then number 2 yung research problem. And then halimbawa, meron na tayong research problem, meron na tayong research topic, that's the time we will identify the variables and constructs. So, ilan yung magiging variable ng ating research? Isa lang ba? Dalawa lang ba? And then ano yung magiging constructs or yung measures na gagawin natin? Yung study natin ba ay about the academic performance? It has something to do ba with self-esteem, with the behavior, with the personality, with the job satisfaction, etc. After that one, saka tayo mahanap ng theoretical underpinning. So, we look for theories that will support our goal, yung ating research problem. So, we can also do this one by, asking Google kung halimbawa ito yung aming title, and then can you suggest, for example, theories related to dito. Or we can also read theories na, and then analyze na lang natin kung talaga yung theories na nabasa natin ay related sa ating problem. Hopefully, we can also show you how do we find theories using artificial intelligence. And the next one is we develop hypothesis. Sa ating practice sa academe, usually we only have the so-called null and alternative hypothesis. And this will be based on the objective of the study. Halimbawa, yung isa sa mga objective natin ay alamin kung mayroong relationship yung isang variable to the other variable. So when writing the hypothesis, yung ginagawa natin is we only answer yes or no. Halimbawa, there is no relationship between variable A and variable B, or we say there is a relationship between variable A and variable B. So that is null and alternative hypothesis. Commonly ganun yung practice ng mga academe. However, in the so-called gold standard in research writing, kapag magde-develop tayo ng hypothesis, it should be based on literature. So, manghahanap tayo ng literature na kung saan nagsasabi na itong variable A ay mayroong positive or negative relationship to variable B. So, technically, it's more on alternative hypothesis rather than null hypothesis. You can learn more about the development of hypothesis, especially if you learn about the concept of structural equation modeling or yung path analysis, and that is considered higher statistical research, and hopefully in our future videos we can discuss about the structural equation modeling. After this one is we have yung conceptual framework. Similar to hypothesis development, yung gagawa tayo ng framework, usually pinapakita natin yung framework sa pamagitan ng diagram or model. So halimbawa, ito dapat yung ating independent variable, social media, and then yung ating magiging dependent variable ay academic performance. But hindi lang natin basta-basta ilalagay yung independent at saka dependent variable based on our personal knowledge. Dapat magbabasa tayo ng literature. Meron bang nag-study na nagsasabi that we can actually relate, we can connect social media in academic performance? Of course, you say there are a lot of studies, but that is only an example. So I'm talking about the other variables. If hindi tayo sure, then we have to really read literature. And then the last research process is research contribution. So yun yan yung pinaka main goal of conducting a research. We have to make sure na at the end of the process, meron tayong mako-contribute to the economy of knowledge. So again, itong 5 na to, they should be based on literature. So kung maghahanap tayo ng research gap, we consult literature. Kapag gagawa tayo ng research problem, we consult literature. Kapag mag-identify tayo ng variables, ng constructs, kapag maghahanap tayo ng theories, kapag magde-develop tayo ng hypothesis, at saka yung conceptual framework, again, we also consult the literature. So, kung makikita nyo sa presentation natin, yung entirety ng research process ay nakabase sa literature review. Okay, let us proceed to this example. Let's say ako, I am following different journals. Yung journals, by the way, parang it's a publication of different research studies or different research or studies. So, halimbawa, itong Recoletos Multidisciplinary Research Journal of University of San Jose Recoletos, meron silang journals, and they usually publish research papers from different researchers and authors. So, let's say naka-follow ako dito, and titingnan natin halimbawa, ano yung mga studies na na-publish in their latest edition or the latest volume. So makikita natin dito, halimbawa kung pupunta tayo later sa website, we can simply click this word current. So we will try daw, halimbawa magbibisita tayo ng website, let's say we study this one, yung Recoletos. So tingnan natin, Multidisciplinary Journal. So ito po yung kanilang website. And then, as you can see now, ito na yung homepage. Yun. Hindi pa ako naka-register or naka-login. I think nasa ibang laptop. Pero let me see sa current study nila or current volume. So, this is volume 13, number 2, this year, 2025. So, na-publish ito nung last August 1, 2025. So, I'm not sure kung kailan yung next publication nila. I think this is by quarter ba or twice a year. But anyway, ito yung mga research papers na na-accept sa Recoletos Journal. By the way, itong Recoletos Journal, it's a high quality journal which is Index and Scopus. Parang yung Scopus, it's a term na masasabi nating okay talaga yung ating journal. So nandito yung mga topic, halimbawa merong biochemical, characterization, and antimicrobial potential of soil-derived Bacillus isolates. And because I cannot relate on the topic, siyempre, hindi ko talaga yung babasahin. So, siguro ito, baka pwede ito, kasi this is something to do with quality education since I am in teaching. Ito pwede rin. This is also about reading comprehension. And this one, I think, has something to do with, I'm not sure, no? Ito yung mga terminologies about maybe biology because meron ditong DNA extraction. So, let's say, I am interested in this study. So, leveraging tiered instruction strategy to enhance reading comprehension and quality education, an action research among early elementary learners in the Philippines. So, yung scope ng study medyo broad siya kasi it's a nationwide, no, Philippines in title. But I am interested again to read the full paper. So, yung ginagawa natin ngayon ay we look for research gap and we are actually reviewing a literature. So I think nandito yung mga authors, no, nandyan, naka-enumerate, and meron din silang tawag natin diyang email or contact details, yan, yung ating kanilang correspondent, si Marlon. And then let's say ito yung kanilang abstract. Usually kung magbabasa tayo ng research paper, hindi talaga mawawala yung abstract, which is basically the summary of the entire manuscript. So makikita natin sa background kung ano ba yung variable. So this is about reading aptitude tier program, yung RATP. And then sa Cebu City, so makikita natin yung setting, and then yung kanilang respondents are grade 3 pupils. Tapos yung methods na ginamit nila ay pre-test and post-test design. So kung hindi kayo familiar dito, ito yung magbibigay tayo ng pre-test before the intervention and post-test after the intervention. And usually, magagamit tayo ng tinatawag nating test of comparison. Doon yung papasok yung statistical test like the paired t-test. So meaning to say, itong study about reading aptitude tier program ay hindi ito yung nakasanayan natin na survey research. Yung magbibigay tayo ng questionnaire, tapos checklist siya, and the questionnaire is answerable by, strongly agree to strongly disagree. So itong kanilang study, it's more like on experimental, experimental research design. And anyway, we will try to read further yung kanilang study. Makikita natin sa findings na nakasabi dito that the findings support using tiered reading interventions guided by continuous assessment. And then sinabi rin dito, this model offers actionable recommendations to improve instructional design and literacy outcomes in early grade classrooms. O yan. Okay, sa findings, I think dito sa results, sabi dito, results showed statistically significant improvements in 5 of the 6 domains. So, meaning to say, itong ginamit nila na reading aptitude tiered program ay mayroong 6 domains, or ang tinatawag nating 6 categories. Halimbawa, we have yung sequencing, mayroon din silang cause and effect, we have fact and opinion, making inferences, and I think we have the other one, the other two rather. Overall, there are 6 according to their study. But of course, we really have to read yung entire manuscript. But because medyo wala tayong time to do that one, you can browse that one. We can also check sa kanilang method section. Ito mas detailed siya compared doon sa abstract. Halimbawa, makikita natin dito yung respondents. Sabi natin kanila, grade 3. Ang tanong ilang grade 3 pupils ang naging respondents nila. So nakalagay dito na 30 grade 3 pupils. So basically, maliit lang yung sample size because this is experimental. And then yung ginawa nila sa 30 students, sabi dito, were purposely selected based on their participation in the RATP. So nakategorize daw yung pupils or learners into 3 performance-based groups. So from 30, divided into 3 groups. So ito na yung, I think, yung Tagaste group, kung saan itong group na to ay mayroong scores ng 79 and below. And we also have like the Milan group, kung saan yung scores nila ay 80 to 90. And then we have Kasikyako group na mayroong scores of 90 and above. So basically 3. So meaning, if you want to replicate their study, we can follow their methods. Yung 30 respondents, halimbawa, and then i-group natin into 3 sections or 3 groups. Ayan. So makikita natin na yung table 1 has something to do with the results of the pretest. So ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina na dimensions ng tool na ginamit nila. So 6, and they also computed for the overall reading comprehension. So ito yung tinatawag nating reading aptitude tier program sa Tagaste. So nilagay din nila, ito yung Milan, and then ito yung Kasikyako group. So nandyan. And then yung table 2 nila yung post test, at saka yung table 3 nila is the comparison between the, I think, post test, comparison ng post-test at saka ng pre-test. So, nandito na yung kanilang t-value at lagay din nila yung decision whether meron bang pinagkaiba or wala, or significant ba yung difference or not significant. Now, in relation to formulating research title, medyo napahaba yung ating explanation sa article na to. You can simply, find the article in the website, and kung gusto niyo pang basahin, and you can do that one. Yung goal lang natin ngayon ay tingnan natin kung itong research title ay pwede nating i-consider na research gap. Halimbawa, meron na bang study sa province of Sulu, because I am from province of Sulu, na kinandak yun, tapos related to reading comprehension, yung ginamit ay itong RATP or yung Reading Aptitude Tiered Program. So yung gagawin natin, pupunta tayo ng Google Scholar, and then ita-type lang natin yung keywords. Halimbawa, we can type itong Reading Aptitude Tiered Program, tapos lalagyan natin ng Sulu or reading comprehension, and then we have the province of Sulu. So maybe I can copy this one. Sige, tapos punta tayo sa Google Scholar. So let's say we will type Google Scholar, and then yung gagawin natin lang ay i-enter natin doon yung keyword, and then saka tayo mag-search. So titingnan natin kung meron na bang studies about yung RATP na nakandak sa province of Sulu. Okay, so let us enter here, and then gagamit tayo ng word N. Yan, ilagay natin yung second variable, reading comprehension. Yan, or maybe we can use plus sign. Sige daw, sige yan, okay na yan, and reading comprehension. And let's sige, lagyan natin ng Sulu, meaning kung mag-search tayo dito sa Google Scholar, yung lalabas ay yung studies about Reading Aptitude Tier Program and Reading Comprehension sa province of Sulu. So tingnan natin, and makikita nyo meron tayong tiered reading program, but this is in Central Java. We have measures toward reading difficulties. Ito, Division of Sulu. So it has something to do with reading difficulties. But before that, we have to make sure na i-filter natin yung timeline ng study. Halimbawa, we only find for literature na na-publish at least 5 years ago. So pwede nating i-click itong custom range by having, let's say, 2020 since 2025 ngayon. So meaning that's 5 years ago. So yung lalabas dito after research this one ay yung mga studies na nakandak from 2020 to present. So halimbawa yan. Okay? So again, I think walang pinagkaiba kasi yung lumabas kanina na 4 ay current research naman. So tingnan natin itong isang study about reading comprehension. So measures toward reading difficulties among public elementary school learners of Patikul, West District, Division of Sulu, Teachers Perspective. So basically meron ng mga study about reading difficulties, pero titignan natin kung ano yung design na ginamit for the particular study. So nandito yung abstract. Hopefully we can find the research design. Okay, nandito nakalagay na descriptive exploratory research design. So yung kanina sa Recoletos, it's more on the pre-test and post-test design. So basically, itong study na to, yung ginamit ay more on survey lang, survey research or using survey questionnaire. So tingnan natin yung full article if it has really something to do with post-test ba at saka pre-test or baka survey question lang. So makikita natin, yes, I think this is about survey research. Ayan, in fact, they talk about the mean at saka yung standard deviation. Sige. Meaning to say, yung study about tiered program, reading comprehension sa province of Sulu, hindi pa tayo sure. So tingnan natin yung ibang study kung mayroon ba talagang tiered reading program sa Sulu. So ito again, ito sa Java. Ito ay, I think this is not in Sulu, pero ang ginamit dito as Sparks. So this is again reading program, but this is not about the variable that we are looking for. O, yan. So, makikita natin ito, Sulu, but I think this is the name of the author. So, I think hindi yan from Sulu. Yan. By looking at the literature, itong sa first page, makikita natin na wala pang study about the RATP, yung Reading Aptitude Tiered Program na nakandak sa Sulu. So, that could be a research gap. Okay? Maybe in Manila meron na, but in the province of Sulu wala. So, ako bilang researcher, since nakita ko na wala pang ganitong research study, so gagawin ko itong research para naman malaman ko kung effective ba to sa pag-improve ng reading comprehension. But again, before natin itong i-conduct or piliin yung variable, we have to make sure na may problema talaga sa reading comprehension. And I think there are a lot of studies, local studies or local findings dito sa ating probinsya, sa Sulu, na nagsasabi na yung mga estudyante, marami pa yung medyo mababa sa reading comprehension. Ayan. So, since walang research sa about reader aptitude tiered program sa Sulu, so ito yung gagawin kong title. So, this is how we find the research gap. But of course, kung gusto na talaga nating malaman kung meron or wala, we have to go to the next few pages and hopefully we can read mga 50 articles or 30 to 50 articles. So, balik tayo sa PowerPoint presentation. So, yung ginawa natin, we go to the Recoletos, we find yung mga updated study, and we look for certain research gap. So, let's say, by the way, ito yung mga database na pwede nating puntahan at pwede nating hanapan ng research gap. So, Google Scholar, likely PubMed, or likely Science Direct, and there are some more databases that we can find as our reference for finding literature and research gap. Okay, so yan yung original title, and then based on the objective of the study, yung study ng mga authors from Recoletos ay ito. They wanted to measure yung effectiveness ng reading aptitude tiered program sa reading comprehension ng grade 3 pupils in Cebu. And take note, this is conducted in Cebu. So as we said, based on our literature review, wala pang study na nakonduct sa province of Cebu. So, yung aking title ay ito. Or let's say this will be the title now, the effectiveness of Revitalize. Yan, ito yung variable nila, dalawa. Reading aptitude tiered program at saka reading comprehension. So, kung gagawa ako ng title based on this study na nakita nating gap, research gap. So, ganito yung magiging title ko, Effectiveness of Reading Aptitude Tiered Program in Enhancing the Reading Comprehension of Elementary Pupils in Sulu. So, yung aking setting ngayon ay nasa Sulu, and I'm still using this two variables. So, yan. Ito yung sinasabi nating we identify variables, we identify the constructs based on the literature. So, the next question now is, paano ako gagawa ng research questions? So, we can go back to the article. Titingnan natin ano yung mga objectives ng study. So, doon natin i-formulate yung research questions. So, punta na naman tayo sa practice natin. Kasi usually, when we formulate research question, yung number 1, ito. What is the level? What is the profile? What is the extent? And sometimes, doon lang tayo. Meaning, we formulate questionnaire based on our stock knowledge or based on the recommendation of our thesis advisor. Ito, malingkat. Yan. Pero yung gagawin natin ay dapat ibabase pa rin natin yung research question sa literature. So, halimbawa, babalik tayo sa article, this one, tingnan natin kung mayroon objectives of the study sa introduction part. If we cannot find, for example, the objectives in the introduction, perhaps we can go to the results and discussions doon sa findings. So, ganito. Sabi dito, this action research study aimed to evaluate the effectiveness of the Revitalized Reading Aptitude Tiered Program in enhancing the reading comprehension of grade 3 pupils in a private elementary school in Cebu City. So, basically, yan yung pinaka-main goal. The program provided leveled support based on diagnostic results through tiered instruction, allowing pupils to engage in targeted literacy activities such as literacy circles, reading corners, and guided immersion. By documenting the impact of this program on key comprehension domains and reflecting on the implementation process, the study offers a replicable framework for improving early grade literacy in diverse and dynamic classroom environments. So, nakikita nyo, dito mismo sa last sentence ng article na to, sinasabi na itong framework ay replicable. And na-mention din yung diverse and dynamic classroom environments. And I believe you will agree with me na itong province of Sulu ay mayroon talagang dynamic classroom environment. So iba to sa classroom environment na meron yung Metro Manila and some other urban places. So maganda talaga yung setting kung dito tayo magkakandak sa province of Sulu. But basically, we cannot find the objectives of the study. So punta tayo sa results and discussion. Tignan natin. Yung first table has something to do with the pretest. So since this is about pretest, yung ating magiging first research question will be about the pretest. So halimbawa ganito. So since pretest yan, yung ating magiging first research question is, what is the level of reading comprehension of elementary pupils before implementing the reading aptitude tiered program? Ayan. So we align this one with the findings of the study. Next one is punta tayo sa table number 2 ng article kung saan ito ay about post-test result. So post-test naman. So tingnan natin sa PowerPoint presentation, yung ating magiging number 2 ay ano yung level ng reading comprehension ng elementary pupils after completing the reading aptitude tiered program. So nakita nyo ngayon itong word before related ini pa pretest, in after sub-related siya pa post-test. Ayan. In number 3 amo na in difference in pretest and post-test reading comprehension scores. So tingnan natin kung same ba to sa article. Yeah, this is comparing the pretest and post-test results. Meron din tayong bonus research questions if you want. For example, although itong pang-apat ay this is about differences in the effectiveness of the program when pupils are grouped according to reading aptitude levels. So we also do comparisons here, pero yung we group yung mga students into their aptitude level, yung low, average at saka high. Okay, tingnan natin kung mayroong ganitong klaseng objective yung study. So after table 3, they now have last na yung table 3. So basically for them, there are 3 major objectives of the study. Ayan. So we can actually limit the research questions to 3 lang, or kung gusto nyo meron pang additional. What I am trying to explain now ay gumawa tayo ng research questions, binase natin sa literature. Okay? So hindi lang basta-basta, okay, number 1, level, number 1 research question should be about what are the factors or what are the effects or what is the impact. So hindi all the time ganun. Wala din kayong makikita dito sa ating research question kung ano yung effectiveness, because yung design ng study na to ay pre-test and post-test design. Okay? So I think we will stop here with our discussions. Yung in-explain ko lang sa inyo yung paano tayo gagawa ng title based on a current study, based on the literature, and by considering research gap. And paano din tayo gagawa ng mga research questions based on the literature. So I think that ends our video presentation, and hopefully in our next videos we will discuss naman yung paano tayo gagawa ng title using artificial intelligence or ChatGPT for that matter. And I think mas madali yon compared to this one. So again, this is Mr. Allen Aitalican. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Magsukol kanyo, and hopefully in mga next videos patauron ta in pagtausog. Actually mawa ko i-discuss may mga presentations ba ni amo na tausog supaya in mga tausog students din di province ta mas makahati uning pagyanon mga research. And hopefully also na makadiscuss din kita topics about statistics, biyarin no sa statistics sa research, especially when it comes to analyzing the data and interpreting the results. So again, thank you for watching.